take out your pen and paper and let's do this. Okay. Asking direct questions may make you sound a little bit rude, especially when you're interacting with strangers, people that you don't know, or maybe when you enter a bank and you're speaking to a banker, or when you are in a shop and you're asking the shop assistant some questions. So you want to come across as polite and you want to make the other person feel comfortable instead of uncomfortable. And you can do this by structuring your question in a way that is not direct. So we're talking about structuring your question in an indirect way. So here's the formula. We have the introductory phrase, the question word, and then the statement word order. So I'll go through this in detail, and I want to first compare the direct question, and then we'll compare it to the indirect question. So a direct question might look like this. We have a question word, we have a verb and a subject, and the rest of the sentence with a question mark. So for example, where is the restroom? Or where's the restroom? Where's the toilet? Question word is where, verb is, and then the subject is the restroom. Okay, that's a direct question, easy, but we want it to be slightly more polite. So we structure it a little bit differently, right? So we need an introductory phrase, and then we have the question word, yes, but we do something a little bit different with the subject and then the verb. So we actually change the structure. So subject comes first, and then the verb, and then the rest of the sentence. So what is an introductory phrase? Can you tell me? So I add that in. Can you tell me where the restroom is? Not can you tell me where is the restroom? Remember, I need to change the structure, subject first and then the verb. So subject is the restroom and verb is. So can you tell me where the restroom is instead of where is the restroom? If you want to know more introductory phrases, I've got lots more here. Could you show me? So could you show me how to use the new software, for example? Would you happen to know where the nearest coffee shop is? Okay. Do you know or have you any idea? Have you any idea what time the meeting starts? Okay. Could you tell me? Would you mind telling me? May I know and may I ask? And after these phrases, you can put the question word after, like who, what, where, when, why, and how. So jot this down if you like the phrases that you want to use. Okay. The next step, after we have the introductory phrase and then the question word, we then change the structure. So, as I've said before, we have the subject and then the verb, right? And then the rest of the sentence. Basically, what I'm trying to say is make it look like an answer. Okay, turn it into a statement word order. That's what I mean. So, for example, let's study this again. This question, a direct question. Here's an example. When is the project deadline? When's the project deadline, right? That's a direct question. And if I want to answer this question, how do I answer this question? So I answer it by saying the project deadline is. So the project deadline is. And that is what I want when I'm structuring my indirect question. So the project deadline is my subject, and then verb is the word is. So let's recap the formula. We have an introductory phrase, and then a question word, and then our subject verb, the one that I've just mentioned, it looks like this, and then the rest of the sentence, right? And here's my introductory phrase. Do you have any idea? And then my question word, when? And then the project deadline is. So I want to structure it as if it is an answer here. And then my question mark. Do you have any idea when the project deadline is? Right? It sounds more polite. And I hope that makes sense. Write this down if you like this structure and you can actually use it at work. You can use it right now. Right? Okay, moving on. Done? Ooh. Why? Okay. There are other phrases that you can use you can add an if or the word whether, right? So do you have any idea if? Do you know if? Do you happen to know if? Right? For example, instead of is the post office closed for lunch? Make it more polite with an indirect question. Do you know if? Right? The post office is my subject and my verb is, and then the rest of the sentence closed for lunch. Right? The post office is closed for lunch. So do you know if the post office is closed for lunch? If I want to use whether, this is more formal. May I ask whether? Do you know whether? Right? So here's my direct question. Has the schedule for the training sessions been confirmed? Right. So the training sessions have been confirmed, for example. So the schedule has been confirmed, right? So may I ask whether the schedule for the training sessions has been confirmed? Okay. So there you go. You can use if or whether, but as I've said, whether is slightly more formal. You can use it, of course, but it's more formal. All right. Now it's your turn. Here is the direct question. Is this item available in other colors? Now, how would I or how would you turn this into an indirect question? You want to sound more polite. Take a look at the structure here, the formula. Introductory phrase plus if or whether if you want, and then the subject and then the verb and the rest of the sentence. Okay? Give it a go. You can use any sentence that I have just given to you. For example, could you show me? Make sure it makes sense though. Let me just recap some of the sentences. Would you happen to know? Do you know? Have you any idea? Do you have any idea? Could you tell me? Would you mind telling me? May I know? May I ask? Do you know if? Do you happen to know if? There are so many phrases that you can use, but just choose one. I don't want to make it too complicated for you. So if you chose may I know if, great. May I know if this item is available in other colors? Well done. Right. There are many ways for you to structure this sentence, of course, meaning you can choose the relevant introductory phrase. It's up to you. Okay. But make sure it makes sense. Okay. Now take a look at this sentence. And I think my students often get this a bit, they're confused with how to go about structuring this. Look at the question. How long does the warranty last for this product? And so they want to make it more polite. So they would write, could you tell me how long? Okay, that's fine. The starting is fine, but look at what happens here. This is wrong. Does the warranty product last? You should remove does, because does, when we answer it like this. The warranty product lasts, right? So that's the only thing that I need here. So remove does. Okay? And then you'll see how to structure it. So for example, could you tell me? Great. That's my introductory phrase. How long? Okay, I'm taking this one. How long? Good. And then the warranty product lasts. That's correct. Remove does. This is called an auxiliary verb. Remove that and make sure the subject and verb agree in number. The warranty product lasts, not the warranty product last without an S. So singular subject with a singular verb. Okay. So there are other phrases that you can explore. I was wondering who, I would like to know what, I'm curious to know when. When you are using these phrases, when you use these phrases, I was wondering, I would like to know, I'm curious to know. You do not need to end that question, that indirect question, with a question mark. All right. So a lot for you to digest, I know. I hope that has inspired you to study a little bit more and try these phrases out, because I believe that when you use indirect questions, it can help maintain politeness and make the interaction more comfortable for both parties involved, for you and the person that you're asking. You're not being rude and too aggressive with your question, and surprising them with an answer maybe they don't know the answer. So you want to just layer it with some polite phrases. Okay, so with that, thank you very much. Bye, everybody. Assalamu alaikum.